Good evening and welcome to Speaker Club Saturday night number 121. Last week, after an interesting session on open mic and talking about stories and how different stories we all experience in our life, the ones we create for ourselves and the ones we reflect on how the world is operating with us. Today, it's about, again, stories. Stories about what you have learned in your life, what experiences have taught you in your life, and also about the questions that keep lingering in your mind about, is there an answer to this? The fact is, today's session being a collective wisdom session, yes, there are answers. Answers not with me, but with someone somewhere, and possibly someone present in this session has the answers for the situations that you are facing, the challenges that you are experiencing, the problems that you think do not have an answer. That's what collective wisdom is all about. We, at the end of the session, are all together wiser than where we began. And that's the idea behind today's session. And the theme for it is the joys of life. Let me begin with this one beautiful line that I had written a few years back, which talked about the joy, something which has always been missing or something which I've always been chasing for a long time until I wrote this. And then this is how the definition or my ideology about what is joy came out. And it is in Hindi. If you don't understand, I'll translate it again for you. It was written as, एक गरीब के झोपड़े झोपड़े से खिलखिलाती हंसी सुनी तो सोच में पड़ गया. एक गरीब के झोपड़े से खिलखिलाती हंसी सुनी तो सोच में पड़ गया, अपने महल में और किस चीज की कमी रह गई. For the ones who don't understand Hindi, it basically talks about passing by a poor man's hut. I heard some giggling, laughing sounds from that poor, withered hut. And that got me thinking about what is missing in our palace that we still don't have what they have. With that, let me open the session for today with the simple question that I wanted to ask you all. Where do you find joy? And specifically, I'm asking, where do you find joy? I'll open that for anyone to respond, because this is a question that I've always had. What is it that's missing? Sometimes I'm thinking, what is missing in my life? And sometimes I'm thinking, am I just overthinking about it? So today, it's going to be all about the questions about where is joy? Not someone who's named Joy, but where is joy and where can we find and how can we find joy in our life? Because this is something that we do everything all through our life for what we want to experience. So let me begin with this question again. Where do you find joy? Uma ma'am, my savior, please start.
Joy we can find in small things. For me, I can find joy in a child's face. Maybe when I'm going in a lift and I see a child with its parent, I just strike a conversation with a smile. And when the child smiles back, that gives me a lot of joy. And then seeing a flower bloom. The previous day it was a bud, and the next day when it is opened up, that gives me joy. And seeing nature in the morning, the birds flying, the blue sky, the sun shining brightly, all these also make me joyful. So we have to find joy in small things, not waiting only to buy when you buy a Kanjivaram sari or ornament. I don't wait for that. So when we try to find joy in these small things and start celebrating life every moment, I think we can experience that bliss. That's what I have realized of late.
Wonderful. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing that. Child smile, a bud blossoming, and small things need not be the Kanjivaram sari that once you try to buy in a year or for some occasion. Thank you. Interesting points. Chetan, go ahead.
For me, I believe that time is precious. So the day when my whole day is completely utilized, it gives me immense joy at the end of the day. And further, uh, performance of my kids, it may be small or big in any event, or small performance, a 3-year-old kid singing a song, that also gives immense joy. And to be frank, a good day in stock market which ends my portfolio to rise by 1.5%, 2% gives me joy.
Interesting. Thank you, Chetan. But then again, when you told about, I'm just trying to explore, because as a normal human being, these are things which we all look for in finding happiness, in the sense complete utilization of time. Would you call 18 hours in office complete utilization of time? Would you call kid coming second performing well? Would you call stock market, your portfolio sustaining still at maybe 0.5% when the market has gone up by 5%, or when the market has gone up by 5%, gone down by 5%? I'm here, like I mentioned, today's collective wisdom. So I can't challenge what you're saying. All I'm thinking of is, are we putting our joy, our definition of joy, in places which is leading us to not feeling joyful? Hold on to that thought and ponder over it. Dinesha.
So in my definition and the way I perceive joy is helping someone without any expectation. If I give you one example, today in the afternoon, when I was bringing my son from the school, I saw one in the same class, one more mother who is coming with her kid. I used to see their mother along with her husband dropping and bringing back the child. But today, unfortunately, only mother is walking along with the kid. Till now, we have not face-to-face met. We don't know like her name, anything. But all of a sudden, I stopped my bike. Madam, I know you stay in my area only. Would you, if you are interested, I'll drop you there only. Mother said, yes, sir, I stay in the same place. My husband is somewhere, he was out of station. So that is the reason I am bringing my kid. Then they sat in my bike, I dropped her. So that's this kind of without selfishness, without any expectation. If I do something, then there I'll get a joy.
Interesting. Thank you, Dinesha, for that. Ravi.
So enjoy means in my mind. So whatever we are gaining the amount. So suppose some few people in my colleague, one of the colleague. So two colleagues are there. One colleague, what happened? He resigned. He got double opportunity, double hike in some other company. So, but what happened there? He was earning good amount, but working the where he was working, he's not happy because of their work pressure and lot of other issues. Not comfort. It is not, company is not good, etc. There's policies, internal politics, etc. But here I'm earning example, one of the friend less earning, happy, but when he is going back to the home and seeing the children's happy, but one of the other colleagues, he's not happy, so working, but he is not interacting with the children's, he is not enjoying with them. Both are staying my beside room only, so beside in same apartment, that happy. So whatever whatever we are gaining, we have to happy with that. So as per gaining little but enjoying the lot, happy. So కుछ సామెత ఉంది తెలుగులో, మనం ఎంతైతే ఎంతైతే అందుతుందో అందులోనే హ్యాపీ చూసుకోవాలి అనేది ఒక సామెత ఉంది. So adi na orientation. So that is my happy. That is my explanation. Thank you.
Thank you. For the ones who don't understand Telugu, that philosophy or that idea is about the fact that what you earn,
Ha, ha,
if you can be happy in that, there's nothing that can beat that.
ha.
So yes, who's
When
up next?
seeing the children's happiness with playing with the kids, when coming to back home, playing with them, that finding the happiness with them. So at least every day, half an hour playing with the kids.
Interesting. Thank you, Ravi, for that. Who's up
May
next?
I?
Rabia? Go ahead, Rabia.
Yeah, good evening, one and all. I'm sorry last week I missed out, but I'm glad to be here. This is the one of the joy I can say every Saturday evening. To be with all of you is one of the best moments. It gives me lots of happiness. And as we can say, life is an ongoing journey that begins with a set of practices that will ultimately lead us to happiness. So we need to have some kind of things like we have to let go past, and we need.
Rabia, you got on mute by mistake. Rabia? Rabia, you're on mute if you're speaking. Let's wait for Rabia to come back. In the meantime, anyone else? Sri Krishna, Hassan sir, Emily?
Sorry, there was hello. Yeah, there was a network issue actually.
Go
Sorry.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Rabia.
So to practice gratitude, and then to surround yourself with positive people, and then to practice.
Rabia, again, you're on mute, Rabia, but we'll come back to what all can we do to add more joy in our life. But the question is, where do you find joy? Where do you find joy is the question now. Let's go ahead with Hassan sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, I find joy with in the midst of the people who are enjoying, for example, their party function or anything. If they are all in the happy mood, I automatically feel joy when I go there.
Interesting.
Hello.
Rabia, yes. Rabia,
I'm sorry.
That's
Yeah.
all. We'll come back to you in a minute.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. Hassan sir, go ahead, sir. Hassan sir?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was telling that whenever I see people who are already enjoying something in happy moods, celebrating something, like when I see people enjoying their time, I feel joy. I find joy in that atmosphere.
Interesting. Thank you, Hassan sir, for that. Who else is there? Yes, Akanksha, go ahead.
I think I really relate to what Hassan sir said, because I'm not going to be completely philosophical, and I don't want to sound old here, but I think seeing other people happy makes me feel happy, especially when it's because of me. Someone is being happy because of me, that in turn makes me happy. I think this is a term called as secondhand happiness, and that's actually very true. It happens. You are just happy because others are happy. So that's what I wanted to share.
Interesting. Thank you, Akanksha. I like that word, second-hand happiness. Interesting. AJ, what makes you happy? AJ, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. Your audio piece or something has to be connected, or something is missing. Can you check? Yes.
I tried with a mic.
Okay.
But unfortunately, I think it's not working.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Go ahead. We can hear you now.
Okay, now it's clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay.
Now this is joy for AJ. Go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. So here I wanted to say two kind of joy actually. One is from the outer joy and one is inner joy. I always prefer inner joy, inner self joy. Suppose sometimes what happens, I am not able to complete my own task. I believe that I'm wasting my time. At that time, if I watch, if I going to actually for a movie also with my friends, I'm not happy. People think that I'm happy by by my appearance, but actually I'm not happy. But if I actually complete my own task, and if I go for only for a tea, I feel very happy. So according to me, if you complete your task, if you are not wasting time, if you are not actually blaming yourself, that day you will be most happiest person. Our main problem, our most problem is that we try to show the others that we are happy, but actually we are not happy, because we are not doing for ourselves. For showing others that I am happy, we are just doing some activities for others. But if we start working for ourselves, then we will become a most happiest person, and it should not be shown to others. It automatically came to your face.
Interesting. Thank you, AJ, for that interesting perspective. Thank you, Hasan sir. Good to see you. Ellen, are you there? Ellen, we can't hear you. Okay, we'll come back to Ellen. We can't hear you, Ellen, but if you're speaking something. Yeah, we'll come back to Ellen. Now that brings me to this interesting question. If we are so clear in where do we find joy, in what makes us happy, why is it that we are still unhappy? A lot of people have this challenge where the definition of joy is not clear. That I understand, where they don't know where do they find joy. That can be the first step of the challenge. But here today, when I'm listening to so many interesting answers about from everyone, from Uma ma'am, Chetan, Dinesha, Hasan sir, Ravi, Akanksha, AJ, different, all finding joy in different places. What makes me question is that why do we still have so many people still not experiencing the true essence of joy in their life for a longer duration? Why is it that always I feel that, okay, whenever that my time comes, joy is on an absent and joy is on a leave? Do you also feel that joy is missing in your life? And again, you can be candid over here, you can be authentic, because we all know each other. The question that I want to ask each one of y'all is, what or who robs the joy from our life? Then we'll come to the next one. Don't go ahead with solutions. I want to look at the possible reasons why we still don't have joy in our life. We'll come to the answers later. So go ahead with what you have experienced, the reasons for the joy at different times in life. Need not be today. At different times in your life, in the past or in your childhood, whenever it is, joy being missing in your life. What are the reasons for it? Akanksha, go ahead.
I think it's because it needs a balance, and we can't all. It's about the balance. Because whenever I feel down and when I feel absent, in the absence of joy, I just think that it is there to balance the presence of it. No?
A
Okay,
little more
so
detail.
basically, I think it all, even joy works as a balance. And it isn't like it is another end of the equilibrium. It is in the middle state or the peace state, you might as you might call it. So the absence of it, I think it's happens because there is the presence of it. Where the simple thing, where people say that where there is light, there is dark. Where there is happiness, there is the absence of it too. So that's how I always thought about it.
Interesting thought. We'll come back to that. That joy also is like a pendulum. If we are having instances of joy, we'll also have instances of lack of joy. Interesting perspective, Akanksha. Could be one of the problems. Who else? Dinesha. You can just unmute and speak. Don't wait for me to ask. Why do you feel joy is missing?
So life is like a mix of emotions. We cannot only look after only joys, because situations also come in the similar way. So it is like a sambar or the breakfast what we have, all the masala should be there. And we cannot expect only the joy. For example, I'll get if I help so many people, I'll get a joy. if I want to keep it one simple example, recently my cousin sister got blessed with a baby. I was thinking I have to contribute something, financial support. But at the same time, I want to look after my family also. It's a second joy. I want to spend most of the time with my parents. I have a responsibility to take care of my wife, my kid also. It is like how we balance. Sometimes the joy somewhere will take it up one level and will come to other part also. It is like overall balancing thing as per my case, sir.
Interesting. I'm liking the kind of reasons that are coming through. Interesting. Hassan sir?
Yeah, as we always say that life is a game, and any game needs some certain skills. People who have not developed certain skills that are required for that game tend to fall into a kind of distress or unhappiness, and whatever they are expecting, if it is not happening immediately, it causes some kind of unhappiness. And if it is continuously happening with them, it comes into his nature, feeling unhappy immediately and keeping it the same mood continuing for long time, and slowly the person tend to become unhappy for long time and no smile at all on his face.
Interesting. Thank you, Hassan sir, for that. Uma ma'am, where's Uma ma'am? I think she's dropped by mistake. Yeah. AJ, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Ellen, I can hear you now. We'll go next with you.
Okay,
AJ,
sir.
go ahead.
Thank you, sir. So, according to me, actually, we are not getting happiness, we are not getting joy in our life because we are not aware about it. Awareness is required. What we have in our life, we just focus what we haven't in our life. Suppose just like darkness and light, if we focus on the darkness, then we will see only dark thing. And if we focus on our light, then we will definitely see the light also. Suppose I wanted to give you an example, short example. Suppose a person getting a job 1 lakh salary. Okay. So, but he's not happy because his friends are earning 10 lakhs per month, but he's earning only 1 lakh. So one day his job has, because of any reason, his job, actually his boss sacked him. And then he realized, then he got, after a few months, then he got 50,000 rupees salary job. Then he just prayed to God, why my 1 lakh job was good. Then he was not happy with 50,000 job. Then at that time, his wife fell sick and a lot of money wasted. At that time, he thought, my 50,000 rupees job is also good. Why you actually gave us this kind of disease or anything? So now we can realize it that we are leading a very actually normal life, but are we really aware about those normal things, about these general things, that what is the most important? Suppose think about it. You have brother, mother, you have food, everything. Suppose you are getting 1 crore rupees, but your two hand, one person wants your two hand, you have to cut two hand. Are you ready for it? So think about it. It means you have a precious thing, na? Someone if comes to you and say that please give your two eyes, I will give you 10 lakh rupees, 20 lakh rupees. Are you ready to do it? So it means those things are very precious for us, or whatever actually surrounding. Today I am able to connect with all over the world, with all over the country with you. It is a very big achievement. It's a lot of persons are available, they are not able to get food at the proper time also. So we should aware about it, that what we have actually, then we will become happy.
Interesting. Thank you, AJ. That's a very interesting perspective of looking at what you have and possibly being aware and appreciating what you have. Thank you for that. Ellen?
Yeah, good evening. Actually, for me, joy like that means just I came to office and speaking to one guy, I forget what happening like that. I came 8 o'clock. Just I seen actually reminder also I not seen speaker club meeting is going on like that. Whatever that involve and do, whatever enjoy, that present moment we need to enjoy. That is for me, it's joy. Speaking to friends, old friends, or else whatever that new making new friends, that is one kind of joy. again celebrating small things. For example, I completing 1 week running challenge, or like that, making small joys actually with my family, means fighting with my wife, it makes joys. Like that actually, a lot of things actually is joy. It's nice actually speaking to friends and everything, learning new things also joy.
Okay, Ellen, then you have answered the previous question. Now answer the question, why is joy still missing in a life then? At some
Yeah,
point in time, at some point in time in the past, need not be today, but some point in time in the past, was at any instance when you were not experiencing joy, what was missing?
yeah, actually joy missing means for me because of office only I can tell. Actually, a lot of office work, right? Project and everything going right. I can tell past 40 days, nothing joy is much actually. Only work. I need to, if I will go to home means just I will have a food, I will sleep. Morning I will get, again I will come to office. So like that, the work balance actually, our life balance, our present living life actually. We are not balancing like that. I thought actually I am not balanced like that. So that time I missed actually because of the sudden work. For example, I'm doing one task actually continuously. If I'm going to my hometown and coming back, that it will be break everything. It will not continue. So that time my joys and everything, it will be break actually, balance, not balancing.
Interesting. Thank you, Ellen, for that. Who's there, Chetan?
Yeah.
Anyone else would like to share? Yeah, Ravi, go ahead.
So the life is balancing means it was punctuality. In my case, circle. So happiness, sadness, and emotions, it will attach to everything. So we have maintained any checklist kind of, so suppose we have to go 10 o'clock, whatever we have to go office by 10 o'clock, and end of the day we are supposed to come by 6 o'clock. So after 6 o'clock, so playing with the kids, vegetables, whatever, bringing that, everything, it should be rotate life turn. So whenever we have to spend with the friends and family, if any marriage, any invitation, everything punctuality, if it maintain the proper timing. See, so even this, how you are managing, I am great follower to you, especially you, the speak up club, you come to on time, event toastmaster also, and you attend the sessions outside the, so everything, it is time management. So as per my perspective, I observed, so everything will come, joy will come, we have to face some sadnesses also and emotionals also, the in my case that I observed.
Thank you, Ravi. I think interesting pointers with regard to the circle of life, the time management, creating the challenges. Anyone else would like to share anything? Chetan, Ahmadi, Unisa, Rabia, if you're there now. Yes, Hassan sir, go ahead.
Yes, I'm there.
After Rabia, after Hassan sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, sure.
I remembered one incident where we were. I mean, I joined Art of Living course. On the very first day, the trainer said on a paper, she has given paper and pen to everyone. She asked us to write our expectations from life. Then we were busy writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, maybe something like that. So at the end of 10 minutes, she said, okay, are you done? Yes, we are done. Then strike off all the expectations and throw that paper into the trash. So the moral of this exercise was expectations reduces joys. Expectations reduce joy, she said. So this was the very first lesson that was given in the Art of Living. Then it continued for next 3 days.
Very interesting. I think it's a very interesting activity, because I was still wondering. Everyone has told aspects about managing, circle, balancing, pendulum. I was waiting that someone would say about this idea of expectations. And thank you, Hassan sir, for mentioning that. We'll come on that a little bit. Rabia, go ahead now.
Yeah, the same thing in continuation with what Hassan sir has told. Expectations only lead to disappointment and then to depression. So the essence of joy you can find is when you just go play blind, as what you can say, without any expectations. Just go ahead in your life and do not. There is a term as what we say, the long-term goals and short-term goals. I really fail to understand that. In my perspective, I can say, because if you have long-term goals, most of the time it so happen it never you get the things what you plan for. Automatically things changes and you have to adjust. That is the way of the world and that is the way of life. So I feel live for a day, enjoy those moments whatever is given. Off late I started believing in this: live for a day and enjoy every moment, because death is unexpected. Thank you.
Interesting. Thank you, Rabia. I can counter every pointer that you mentioned in that, but I won't, because your experiences have taught you that. And the reason why we are having today's session is this very fundamental, that sometimes the lesson that we have learned, the experience we have had may not be the challenge. The challenge will be the lesson that we have learned from the experience that we have had. So remember to always keep that loop open, where you can review the lessons that you have learned and reflect on whether possibly have I learned the long lesson, and maybe review it and see if a change in that lesson can review or change your life. Dinesha, go ahead.
Sir, I want to give one personal experience
Go ahead.
along with one short story. What
Yep.
happened? Birds will migrate from one place to one place based on this weather condition. What happens? One set of birds started to migrate one place to another place, but one young bird started arguing with the parents. Why we have to migrate to some other place? We are comfortable here. Everything is available. Parents tried to convince, but they were not able to convince. All the birds decided to leave without that leaving that one bird. After like almost 2 hours, this bird started feeling some uncomfortable. Weather started changing. Some cold wave started coming. Then it's realized, okay, I have to leave now. Then it started flying. Somewhat it came to cross that particular location and came to one place. By the time it was like early morning, it was fully tired, without food. It fell down to the one nearby to the one house. What happened early morning? The house lady came with cow dung and thrown on this. Already it was like shivering with the cold. The cow dung came on the bird. Cow dung, early cow dung, it was little hot. So that bird was feeling, wow, I was feeling very cold. Now it is coming somewhat hot. It started singing with that pleasure. The cat was sleeping near to that house. It was heard that bird song. Then the cat came and grabbed the cow dung and eaten that bird. It says, if you are happy, we should not be overexcited like I'm happy, happy, happy. When we are in a difficult situation, we should not be cry like I'm having so many problems. It's all about emotions. For example, I was suffering with dengue. I went to 2-3 doctor and finally I met one of the best doctor. He prescribed me a doctor. Within 2 weeks, I overcome that health issue. But because of the medication, I come across itching problem, entire body. My wife used to say, I cannot able to see your body. It was like horrible. I used to say, I am feeling joy in that itching itself. That's kind of one kind of feeling. That's what it's all kind of emotions. We should be like, whether it is in a tough situation also, how we will take it. It's all depend upon us. How we will take it. I took my wife to one of the beautiful place to give her a gobi manchuri today. I was expecting my wife will be very happy with that treat. But after eating, she was like, it is not good. I was seeing joy with her face. Finally, it was like faced out. We should know like how we have to balance the emotions so that we can keep in the balanced, whether it is good or bad.
Interesting. Thank you, Dinesha. Interesting story, interesting lesson in that. Anyone else would like to share anything before we move forward? Hassan sir, go ahead.
Yeah, also one more point. We always try to get approval of others. when we fail to receive that kind of approval or the level of appreciation or recognition, it makes us feel unhappy. So we should not, wait for the approvals of others for us.
Very interesting. Thank you, Hassan sir. Interesting pointers from you, especially. I love the two things. You come after a long time and you tell something which I think which tells us why were you not here for so long. Thank you for joining today, and I think these are wonderful ideas that you have shared. Now
Rakesh
that
sir,
we've talked of,
Rahul sir,
yes,
with your
Dinisha,
permission, I'll add one point to Hassan sir point.
go ahead.
So normally we should keep our remote with us. Like we have a TV channel, right? With remote with us, whatever the channels, whether it's song channel or movie channel or serial channel, we'll keep on changing. Accordingly, TV will keep on acting. It will change the channel. For example, Dinesh, I should not be depend my happiness with Rahul sir appreciation or my wife happiness or my parents' money. I should know how I can balance my happiness or my mood. Someone will say Dinesh is good, then I'll very happy. Someone will say, hey, Dinesh is not good guy, yaar. Then automatically my mood will go. We should keep our remote with us. Then obviously will be very constant position.
Sometimes battery die out.
Yeah,
Hello?
ये technical point पे पकड़ लिए. Thank you, Dinesha. Again, interesting pointer. AJ, you want to add something? Go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to add to Dinesh sir's point. We should actually keep our remote in a remote area to remote our unhappiness, isn't it?
Interesting. That's again another interesting perspective. Thank you, AJ, for sharing that. Now that actually we have seen there's so many elements. There's so many elements on different things. Each one of you all have shared. There's so many things that are the causes to our unhappiness or lack of joy. Here, let me demarcate one basic difference between joy and happiness. Happiness, to a large extent, is a result of something which is happening. So we have happiness and sadness and a pendulum like that. But joy, to a large extent, it isn't like when I'm happy, I'll be he. But when you're joyful, I might be like this now, I'm talking to you and I can still be joyful. Joyful, to a large extent, is about a state of your being. So it doesn't have to be that you have to be visibly happy, smiling, laughing, or something like that to be joyful. And today I want to focus not on happiness, because happiness, like all the pointers that you have mentioned about the pendulum, about expectations, about situations, about working hard for some days and not getting time on other days, these are all elements which will make you happy or unhappy on a few days. Completely understand on that. But with regard to joyfulness, joyfulness to a large extent is not about something happening from external elements. But the challenge is we let our joy, the state of our being, also being affected by these elements. You can have a state of being joyful, and if at all, someone said about the pendulum, someone said about the circle, the idea is joyful is a static state where you can build yourself for that state. It doesn't have to be wavering with the expectations, experiences, what is happening outside, because joyfulness will be a reflection of what all is happening and how you are reacting to it. Here, let me just go by the pointers that many people have shared over here. I'll just look at how these things, and I would want you to reflect on what we can do about it or what have you done. So if you said, we had Akanksha saying that if we have joy, we'll also have its absence. We'll appreciate joy because in times when it is absent. But the fact is, look at it how you are creating with this philosophy that I'll be joyful sometimes and I'll be sad sometimes. You are by default saying that you cannot have a state, a calmness state, a state of peace and joy within your life always. You've already accepted that it can't be. I'm not saying what is happening externally. Now, here situations which were told by, as an example, Ellen told. Last 40 days, he was working. He was disturbed. He was constantly having to work and the things that were happening. The focus here can be that you can still be joyful with your busy schedule, with the lack of your work-life balance that is making you strained, but that doesn't mean that you can't be joyful. If you are perceiving that activity, the way you are perceiving that activity is what moves your joyness within. If you perceive that as a pain, but if you look at the same thing happening, there will be times, there will be seasons, there will be situations where there will be a pressure, and that is a part of my job. That is a part of my job. If I look at it in that way, it doesn't hit my joyful nature. It doesn't hit my joyful being within. Otherwise, it will be like, even if someone has asked you to come on a weekend to work, your entire joy is disturbed. Yes, no. Look at how you are defining that. Ellen, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, yeah, weekend actually today they not asked me, but I went. Reason because of my my task as well as I love to do. Not actually, but what I told actually, yeah, as you told, that is correct. Whatever I am doing actually, office after 6 they can't tell me you need to stay like that. But why I am staying, I am enjoying that one.
See, that also comes as a part of your responsibility. As a job, there will be instances where there will be swings. There will be sometimes when you will be free from your office while your leaving time is 6 o'clock. There will be days, sometimes there will be days when you get free by 3 o'clock, or you're spending some casual time in the office with your friends, having fun, having party. But the focus is, how are you seeing that activity? Hassan sir mentioned about expectations. The fact that if you're able to see something as a part and parcel of what is happening in the bigger picture and put that activity in the right place, you will still be joyful even during the extended times. Now, Ellen could be thinking that 40 days, yeah, this is a part of my job. Sometimes there will be days like this. If he looks at it, it won't hamper his joyful state of being. So look at what you are doing and your perception about what is happening. Many a times where joy is missing is in your perception of what is happening. Someone is happy with a basic roti kapda makan, and someone says, I want that Gucci bag, I want that Mercedes, I want that bungalow, and I'll not be happy until then. That chase is there. Some people have the chase, but they're still okay with where they are, what they have, and what they're doing. By being more joyous, there's a higher likelihood that you'll achieve whatever you're chasing. By not being miserable about what I don't have. How many of you all have experienced this, that the chase that you are in, whatever aspirations that you have, the dreams that you have, whatever things that you are trying to aspire, is it affecting your joyful state because you're constantly chasing something? Or are you still joyful in the pursuit of that aspiration? That's the difference. When you accomplish that goal, you could feel happy. When you have not, you could feel sad. That's okay. But how are you feeling within as a state of your being while chasing these dreams? Is something that I want you all to reflect on. Think of it. Is it the challenge of what is the experience happening, or what is the fact of whatever is happening? Or is it your experience of your perception? What are you thinking about it that is creating the disturbance? We had Dinesha, you mentioned as an example. Dinesha, you mentioned about the simple fact. I find joy in spending time with my parents, while I also have a responsibility to be spending time with my family, wife, children, whatever you want to call it. The fact is, if you look at this as a balance, that this is the norm of life, you can't have it this way or you can't have it that way completely, then you won't feel that you don't have joy when you're spending time with your family. You will still feel joy. You will still feel that when I'm getting time, the way I'm balancing it out, I'm still able to manage and do whatever I can to spend time with my parents, or The example that you said, the flavor comes by knowing that this is sambar and this is chutney and this is dosa. By knowing that this is what it is expected to be, this is what it is expected to be, and doing its own role, if you accept that this is how it is, even spending time with your wife or your children will be still joyful. You'll still be joyful. There will be instances that tussle will be there, but that doesn't have to be at the cost of your lack of joyous state of mind.
True, sir.
So in that sense, look at it of how you are approaching that. It doesn't have to be that you have to feel unhappy or miserable while you're not able to do this. You begin somewhere. The idea is, even if you're progressing, I find joy in that progress. Today, I might not still be able to perfectly balance or manage or take the responsibility of my parents as an example. But if I'm in that direction, I'm still joyful. And by being joyful, rather, you have a higher likelihood of going and accomplishing that balance and progressing in that. If you feel miserable, neither are your parents happy while you're there because you're thinking, what is wife thinking? Or while you're with your wife, thinking that I am not able to do anything for my parents. Your imbalance of lack of joy in your life will not lead to any of these things happening.
That's what AJ point also come, like awareness. What is possible at this moment?
So what is possible right now? Someone has also told about many other things. Focus on some, like we had AJ mentioning 1 lakh versus 10 lakhs. If you know that I'm doing this, I'm doing with this purpose, I'm happy with this 1 lakh, then that 10 lakhs won't bother you because it's a conscious choice that you have made and you're not miserable because you're not getting or doing something else. Like he mentioned, once he got back to 50,000 salary also, he was still okay that I'm able to serve things. Done. He was not miserable because of someone else getting 10 lakhs. He was miserable because he was perceiving and expecting and looking at the different realities of different people. How many of you all have had this instance where if by your own facts, by your own experience, you have made yourself miserable. You have not had joy because of your own perception. If anyone can share your experience of where you have had this instance where you have not found joy, but someone else was thinking, this is wonderful. Ravi, go ahead.
Yeah, so so 2010 onwards, I purchased my own TV. I purchased a bicycle. I purchased a bike. I purchased a car. I purchased my own money. So a house recently. So that gives a great happiness really. So this is everything one by one, step by step. I started to earning and started to purchasing. That gives that great.
Interesting. Thank you, Ravi, for that. Chetan?
Yes, sir.
Any instance where you have harmed your own joy or the possibility of joy because of your perception alone? Someone else feels this is wonderful, he's got it and he should be happy with it, but you are still not happy.
Yes, sir. It happens when my wife feels that we should visit a mall, that kind of environment for children, but I don't enjoy that kind of environment, that noisy play zone and all and all and all.
Yeah.
But I bear.
Yeah, can you come again last?
But I bear.
Yeah, so again, the joy of your children or their perception of someone's judgment that this is better for them or this is where they find happiness, doing it for the children is still okay. Interesting. Akanksha? Rabia, Uma ma'am, anyone, any instances where you feel that just a change of your perception about the same thing made the difference of joy in your life?
Yeah, one incident, Mr. Rahul.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, whenever yeah, it is maybe our fortunate or unfortunate, we have to live with our spouse. Okay. Here,
Great.
our decisions, our what you call perceptions won't work. This always create clash in our joyness. So even if we want to fabricate our own, world, we are not alone. We have to consider, family, wife, children, all these things. This kind of things will always disturb our, joy and mood and happiness, and keep us hurting it. This is what I want to share.
Very interesting point. I think here I would like to bring back the point that AJ mentioned. One is about the external joy and one is the internal joy. There will always be a balance between how much you can give in and how much you can take with regard to elements of your life, or those elements where it's all about how you're perceiving things. That is what creates the internal balance of joy or not feeling joy. And the external elements where you are driven by the results of something else, of what is happening around you, what is happening with the people around you, their expectations. Like right now, Chetan mentioned about the children, the wife preferring the children to go to a mall, but he doesn't find that calmness in that place. Or someone mentioned, I think at the start it was someone mentioned about, Akanksha mentioned about second-hand happiness. It's about finding the joy that someone is joyful because of you being a reason for it. But many times, is it possible? Their expectations might be something in which is not something which is in sync with what you want. Will you always do that? Will that trickle down to so much that it will start hampering your internal joy? Is something that we can think of, and what can we do about this is something which is a question we all can discuss. What have you done so that you can maintain your joy, your peace, or your internal world, so that the external challenges which you're talking of, the external people and all those things which are happening around you, doesn't hamper that? Can someone share your story of how you have took charge of how much you are allowing the external factors to impact you? Anyone would like to share? Uma ma'am? How do you take charge when the external factors are driving your internal joy? In a sense, it's affecting your internal joy. What do you do then? Rabia, I'm coming to you after Uma ma'am.
Sure.
Yeah, of late, sir has become little, what do you say, immobile because of his leg problem, and he needs my help. And even he's slightly mentally weak also. He needs to be pepped up and boosted to do small things also, even do his exercises and walk and things like that. So that is taking a toll on me, and I have to sacrifice many of my webinars. Maybe in between Toastmasters also, I have to just take a break and then take care of him and things like that. But then I just attend to him also, and in between I just attend these sessions also, which makes me happy. So I can't neglect my duty also. At the same time, I find joy in attending these Toastmaster meetings and taking my online classes and things like that. So somehow I find a balance between the two and see that I am happy internally also. And at the same time, I'm able to take care of him. So we have to find a balance with all this.
Thank
So,
you, ma'am.
yeah.
I think that's an interesting perspective. We had talked of about this in one of the earlier sessions, which you cannot give from an empty cup. You cannot give from an empty cup. You also have to take care of your internal world if you want to serve the external world. Here, in this instance, where if you do not have a choice altogether, there might be instances where you might be forced to take care of the external factors for a certain duration. But if it becomes perennial, if it becomes for a very long term, then in that situation, it is also important that you have the small buckets where you are making sure you get your joy, you get your peace also, and give importance to that. So here, wonderfully being done by Uma ma'am, wherein she still tries to sneak out time that whenever it is possible, she just makes sure how she can engage in something that she feels joy in, and that energizes her to do and serve for the external things that she is responsible for. Interesting. Rabia, go ahead now.
Yeah, the thing what I would like to say about is external, as what you said, external forces make us get disturbed, and internally, definitely it affects. It's not that we have a shield covered with, we cannot stop things to go in. Definitely it will affect our mood, our way of dealing the things with. We may face many other ups and downs related to that itself, but of late I started learning about the things from the time when I joined this living life sessions. Learned that one thing what was told by Pragya and you as well, that always in a 24 hours of a day, just keep aside at least 2 minutes for a me time, like be yourself. And that is the moment where I feel myself happy, or joy, I can say the real joy. Because whatever be the thing, whether it is a matter of cooking, whether it is a matter of stitching something, or whether it is reading a book, or doing something of my own for my own self, that gives me real happiness or joy, I can say. That is one of the things. And apart from that, one more learning what I have just learned as of late is things will not change, it will change accordingly, right? Nothing is in our hands. So instead of bothering, and instead of kept on thinking, and just being in that negative thoughts and mood, we have to just come up from that. Because we have to remember one thing, that before we were born, the world was still going on, things were going on, everything as it is in the world. When we will leave this world, the things will go on as it is in this world. When we are in this world, then why to worry? Because the one who is going to take care of before us and after us is the one who is there up. So it is the God Almighty, we can say, who is going to take care of the things. So just before going to bed, one mantra kind of a thing I started doing. When you lie down on the bed, just say one thing: all my problems are in your hands. You take care of it. I have nothing to do with, I cannot do it. You know better what is going to be the next. And with that, you will have a peaceful sleep. And that is the joy I can see. Thank you.
Interesting. Thank you, Rabia. Putting it on the supreme power or some force which you all feel that is taking care of things beyond us is a wonderful technique. Yeah, Dinesha, go ahead.
Sir,
Go
if
ahead.
you keep joy without taking external force to disturb our joy, what we have to do? We have to keep our originality. For example, every day we eat only ragi roti, not like I pizza, burger, and that. We should be honest. Like in our voice, every day only ragi roti only, or chapati.
But
If you
Swiggy and
showcase
all
like
will definitely tempt you.
Rabia,
Swiggy,
1 minute,
sorry.
Rabia. Let him go ahead.
if
1
you
minute.
want to show it like every day I eat pizza, someday we will come, other will come to know what is the exact situation in my uh, house. That is the one thing. If you know awareness, like what I am, this is the way I am living, so that we can keep the calmness, constant joy in our life. Like one of the famous philosopher, Sadhu Ekanatha, he is from the Gujarat. He was like famous for the peace always. One fine day, he went to one of the river to take a bath. He saw there is a, next to that there was a tree. In the tree, one leaf was close to that water. He was like taking a bath. He saw one scorpio was falling into the water. Then it has came to my, I have to save this scorpio. He tried to catch that and hold it and keep it to the outside. It started biting. It has happened one time, second time, third time. There are people who are watching the same this scenario is what is happening. Then they said, everybody say like you are a sadhu, guru, like that. You don't have a common sense. You know, like that will bite you, right? Why you are keeping and helping that? The sadhu said, Ekanatha, his name is Ekanatha, said, the Scorpius main character is biting. My main originality is to help. I don't want to lose that. That is my originality. That is the reason I'm several time if it's bite also, I'll save that Scorpio. That should be our motto, like always keep our originality. Nothing will disturb.
Wonderful. Thank you for that story, Dinesh. I think that's a wonderful story, and I think it has a good takeaway for every one of us. When you're authentic and unapologetic about who you are, I think there's nothing that can disturb you. First, being aware that this is who I am and this is what I want myself, or making a conscious choice that this is what I want to be, and then being unapologetic. Because many times you have seen a lot of us thinking and believing in something and yet saying that, okay, I'm sorry, you got hurt because of this or because of who I am like this. You should know what you are and know the repercussions also, and make sure you can still stand for who you are. I think one of the biggest challenge of this tussle within us is because we want to be like something, but we mend our ways to feel accepted by people. Hassan sir mentioned this another pointer, which was about getting approval from others. We want to be pleasing people, because of which we lose our own self-esteem, and we also lose the fact that what we are doing is not in sync with what we are. That becomes a big challenge in disturbing the joy that we can get from being who we are. So different examples in that element, wherein we have seen people finding their joy and calm and stability purely basis on the fact that they are what they are. It could hurt someone, someone may not like it, someone may not accept it, but it doesn't matter. That is who they are, and they can find joy in that. With that, anyone else would like to share anything before we come to an end for today's session? Any ideas that you all, or any tip that you would like to share of what has worked for you in finding the joy in your life? One tip that I would like everyone to share with the rest of us. Who'll go first? Chetan? AJ, go ahead.
This cell to pass. This cell to pass. This line actually, that whenever I just depressed anything, I realized it, that this cell to pass. I have to wait.
Interesting. Again, a matter of perception of how you are seeing the challenges, of how what is happening around you, and thinking of it in this way. Wonderful. Thank you, AJ, for sharing that. This too shall pass. Thank you. Who's coming up next? Rabia, go ahead.
Every cloud has a silver lining.
Okay, interesting.
Whatever things and situation may come up, but there is a ray of hope we have to go for.
Okay, so we are talking of one tip that you would like to give based on what your life has taught you in whatever time frame that you have lived. What life has taught you on how to maintain or build the joy within yourself, irrespective of whatever it is. Dinisha, go ahead.
Sir, when we come to this earth, we will come with the pure soul. When we're dying also, go with the same pure soul. How we will maintain to go to the level, end level with the pure soul, there will be like complete.
Interesting. Thank you. Very interesting perspective, Dinisha. Thank you. Akanksha, go ahead.
I think one that helped me is, it's okay not to be okay.
Acceptance of uneven times. Thank you for sharing that. Who else? Sri Krishna. Chetan, go ahead.
Spirituality gives me happiness. I have a spiritual guru. So whenever I get a chance, I visit her, and she asks about my well-being, my progress in depth. Means no uncle or aunt or anyone else asks me with so much of depth and guides me. Yes, relating everything.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for that pointer. Uma ma'am, go ahead.
Yeah. So create a POP, that is pockets of peace in between during the whole day. So find wherever you get those small peace moments or happy moments, create it for yourself, and then just go ahead. So you have to find those pockets of peace, and that recharges you and makes you move ahead.
Interesting. These are some really interesting perspectives. Yes, AJ, you were saying something?
Yes, we can't expect milk from the ox. if other person's thoughts or anything, any task bothering us, we have to understand it that we can't expect milk from the ox. That is our problem. We expect a good behavior, everything from the bad people, also from everyone, but we are forget it that we just expecting the milk from the ox. It's our fault, not their fault. It's their behavior. They are doing their tasks in a very good way, but we are expecting wrong things from the wrong person.
Very interesting. Ellen, are you still there?
Yeah, wait.
Wait,
You
okay.
can- yeah, you can
Interesting.
wait.
Very interesting way to find peace, waiting. Thank you. I
Yeah.
think that's a wonderful answer. Go
Wait
ahead, go
and,
ahead. Just kidding.
yeah, wait and as well as less expectation. That both things actually, I'm lot of things in my career, in my experience. I'll wait much, as well as I will less expectation. That both are giving a lot of insight to me. Yeah.
Interesting. Who else is Ravi? Anything from you? Nothing. Sri Krishna, you have been silent.
No, actually, I am in office, so that is one reason. And of course, like I was listening to everybody's perspectives, so in different things. And one point which I liked is, since being from stock market, one thing which Chetan sir said, seeing the portfolio go up by 2% is it really gives me joy. And of course, whenever I am at my home, spending time with family, that is something which gives me joy. That's
Wonderful. Sri Krishna, just to add to that point, because I have also been connected to the stock markets world. The challenge is when you see or observe the absolute performance. I got 90% marks. I'm happy, I'm joyful, but I look that everyone else has got over 95, and then this 90 doesn't feel good. Or that 2% market is up, my portfolio is up 2%, but the market is up 10%. 2% also won't be happy. That won't give joy to me.
yeah, I
The
got
fact
the point.
is, we have to contextualize things on how we are seeing things of what is happening external to us based on the context of what we are or everything that is happening around. Many times, as an example, if someone has not got a promotion, not got a job hike, put in the context, maybe the situation is such that right now people are losing their jobs and you still have one. You could still find joy in having one. The fact is how you are looking at something which is happening external to you in the right context will help you in understanding whether are you judging it in the right way or wrong way, and are you allowing that aspect to unsettle the joy which is there in your life. With that, we come to the end of the session, and it's been an interesting session wherein we have seen different reasons where each one of us find joy in different spaces. I'm happy you didn't suggest your find of where you find joy that I should be finding it there, because it isn't the case. Half of the people, a lot of people miss out on their definition of joy. It's because they're chasing someone else's definition. And that is where we are on the wrong track altogether. Beyond that, we also saw some interesting aspects about where and why joy is missing in our life. We had different answers from different people, and few things that came out of that for me were about expectations, perception, and how you are allowing people the external factor of the joy and the internal factor of the joy being intermingled. Because if there is something under your control, is the world of joy which is within you and how much you are in charge of it. With that, let me come to the end of this session the usual way, and then we'll stay back and network. There are a few important things that I want to discuss with you all before we close for today. Let me close this session the usual way then. Saturday nights have never been this beautiful for the last 121 Saturday nights now. It's been an honor to be sharing our perspectives, listening to your perspectives, and gaining new perspectives. Thank you for the love that you keep coming back every Saturday night and adding life to our lives and to every member of the Speak Up Club family. Good night. See you next Saturday, 9 p.m. again.